3. Welcome back to video 3 and the final video of making empanada. Excuse the big mess, that's just what it takes to make empanada. We left off with me cooking the empanada filling, which is technically a chilaquiles. However, it's double the thickness, so we left off with that simmering, cooking in the pot, and I made it become into a paste. Now, that's perfect, exactly what you want when you're making the empanada. You don't want it like liquidy or anything because it's going to ruin your texture. Now, the crust. Here we go. I made this crust, this amount of crust, with exactly 2 cups of mozzarella over there. I used a tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and I also used 1 cup of achote water, and then I used 1/2 cup of vegetable oil. So when you make your dough, it's not going to look like your typical Jesus dough or something like you're making for a crust. It's going to look kind of shaky and flaky, but that's okay. Because when you fry your empanada down, and as long as you maintain your texture, the outcome will be like it is when you go to 7-Day Supermarket or Numero Uno and Muning, whatever. So I have a wax paper here. It's very important to use wax paper because it's going to be what you use to separate the shell from each other. It's also what you're going to use to flatten the empanada. So I'm using a Sierra Nevada cup as my rolling pin. Classy. Very. It's island style cooking, so why not use the mountainous cup? Anyhow, don't worry. You want it to be like a 3-centimeter thick crust, uncooked, because when you roll your filling into it, you're going to want it to maintain its texture. Now, there you go. I have it about 3 centimeters thick. What I'm going to do now to shape my empanada is I'm going to grab myself a bowl, any kind of bowl, doesn't matter. Pull all these surroundings off. And ta-da! I have a perfect circle, right? Now, if it sort of sticks, that's alright. It'll come off. There you go. Now I'm going to take the filling and sort of shape it to how I want it to be in the paste, like that. Flatten it just a little bit, and then I'm going to take the wax paper and hold my filling in, and I'm going to prepare to crush, and do it gently but firmly. Okay, push down into the empanada. Your goal is you want to like close the ends. Sort of like turnovers, you know, close the ends to where it comes to like a little smiley face, like that. Hello. Now, after a while, you guys will all get used to the process, as I am currently getting used to. It takes a while, even if you've like perfected it, and then it just, you lose touch. It depends on your dough. Your dough is going to be the key to your consistency all the time. Now, this is the perfect empanada to me because it's got no cracks. It's ready to go. I have this cooking on medium high. Throw that baby in there. Now, you're only going to want to cook it for about, I'd say 1 minute. Really, literally 1 minute. See how it's cooking? Once it starts to pop and you see the popping subsides, then it's ready for you to flip it over again. There you go. So again, once the popping subsides on one side, you want to flip it over once more. And then, and then, it's just about done. So remember, these are two important things to remember about empanada. You don't want to serve it right when it's out of the pot, cooking like this, because it's going to be soft and crunchy, not really crispy. And then you also don't want to leave it on frying for too long, because it's going to become duckness. So right now, I feel that this empanada is ready to go. Nice and easy. Remember, let it dry out so it can absorb the crisp, dry air. If you're living in a warmer climate, you might want to tone your water down a little bit less. If you're living in a colder climate, and there's going to be less humidity, then you might want to lessen your water. And when I say that, when you make your dough, even though I gave you measurements, you're going to want to have to play around with it a little bit. I mean, unless you're Antigu and unless you're expert Chamorro, then, Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching our empanada. Hasta la siguiente. Wow. It's very good. Just done. Enjoy. Stay tuned for the picture.